guys, welcome back to my channel. Welcome to a new video. Anyways, I'm back with new Reddit videos. I've been really sick. As you can tell, like, my eye has been very swollen. I had a really bad cold, so I was like, I can't make videos these days, but I'm back now. I'm feeling a bit better and my eye is feeling good. Anyways, first story of the day. I'm trying to do more videos, more stories within a video, because usually I only do like 3 or 4, but like I want to do like 5 or 6 or even 7. It just depends on like how juicy the story is and how long the story is, because sometimes some stories are very long. But yeah, am I the a-hole for getting my coworker fired after she kept trying to prove my service dog is fake? I have a medical alert service dog named Max who helps with a serious heart condition. He's literally saved my life multiple times by alerting before I passed out. I started a new job after 3 months ago, and everything was fine until, let's call her Karen, started her crusade against Max. This isn't Max, but here's an idea of how he looked on the job. I think she tried to insert like a picture of her dog. It started small. She loudly announced, "Pets aren't allowed in the office," every time she saw us. I explained repeatedly that Max is a service dog, not a pet, and showed her his documentation. She then I wouldn't even do that, because why is that her business? She then started telling everyone I was obviously faking because I looked too young to be disabled. Things escalated fast. She tried to test Max by dropping food near him. He's trying to ignore it. She reported me to HR weekly. But the worst part, she started purposely wearing strong perfume and spraying air freshener around my desk, which triggers my condition. Max alerted 3 times in one day because of this. The final straw, I found out she was taking photos of me and Max, posted them in the Facebook group about fake service dogs, asking for ways to expose me. She included my full name and workplace. Isn't that like illegal? I took screenshots and went to HR. They fired her on the spot for harassment and creating a hostile work environment. Now my inbox is flooded with messages from her and her friends and her family saying I am the a-hole for getting a mother of 3 fired over a dog and that I should have just worked from home if I'm so sick. Here's the thing. I actually feel horrible that she lost her job. Her kids aren't a fault here, but she literally put my life at risk with the perfume stunts, and doxing me online was scary. Well, the mother of 3 should have minded her own business and just done her work and kept her dumb opinions and accusations to herself if she didn't want to get fired. I hate people, like some people hate to see accountability coming, because how do you go out of your way to make your coworker their life hell at work, but God forbid you get held accountable and the actions that you took have consequences? Like, people are so raggedy. Anyways, top comment. She would do this to someone else if she hadn't done it to you. It isn't your fault she was fired. It's her own, not the a-hole. Yeah, she definitely would have done it to someone else too. So, am I the a-hole for being disgusted and just saying, okay, when my fiance broke up with me? I, 28, have been with my fiance, Alex, 34, since 2020. We met at a friend's party, hit off, and had been together ever since. He finished his doctorate in economics just last year. Since then, he has been working at the uni. I have my master's in media sciences and decided to start working instead of going for a PhD. Okay, so the problem is that Alex broke up with me last Sunday. It was literally so surreal and honestly just weird. For the past few months, he'd been acting strange. He was making demands and then dropping them immediately. A few examples. He told me we were going to paint our walls from dark green to white. When I asked why, he just said, "For F's sakes, forget it," and never brought it up again, even when I asked. Another time, he came home and got mad because I was sitting on the couch with my head covered in a blanket. I had cramps. He was upset because I was just sitting there watching Netflix. Mind you, the house was spotless. When I tried to talk about it, he said, "Forget it. It's not a big deal." She said uni, so I'm assuming they're from England. This kind of became common. Every time I tried to communicate, try to figure out what was going on, whether it was something I did or maybe he was just stressed at work, he would just say everything was fine. But he was clearly seething with rage. I didn't have to do anything. He would find something to complain about: the apartment, clothes, me, work, etc. So I gave him space, which apparently was also wrong. I told him I was going to help with my parents' repair for a few days. And somehow that was also wrong because he wanted to renovate the apartment. Then on Monday, I got a text saying we need to talk. I knew it was coming, and after the last few months, I had peace with it. When I came home, he was sitting on the couch. He didn't even wait for me to take off my jacket before saying, I want to break up. Then the verbal diarrhea started. He told me he resented me. First, because I didn't pursue my academics further, even though I was capable, and he didn't want to upset me at the time. Then when I started making more money, since he didn't make much as a PhD student, he felt like I should have at least I should at least have the last word financially, and he hated it. So because she makes more money, that made him insecure. So he's like, oh, well, at least I should have the last word because I'm a man. Rah, 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 beats his chest. What? He said he hated our paint scheme, the couch, and even our crock pot. Then he told me he had rejected a better PhD program to stay here because I had already started my job by the time he got the acceptance letter. Only he never told me he had even applied overseas. He said a few months ago he checked in with a friend who's in that program, saw how they're thriving, and decided I ruined his life. He said I had too much control over his life and that he hated the idea that I could just decide not to pay for things and F him over. I honestly don't even know what that means. He also said he hated that all his friends loved me and didn't let him vet about me. Yeah, buddy, we don't want you to talk bad about your wife because we actually respect her. Rawr, that makes me so mad. Like, what is going on with this guy? Then he said again, I'm done. I was floored. I had already made peace with the idea that we were ending, and it hurt, but after that rant, I was just disgusted. I looked at him with a disgusted expression and said, okay. He lost it. He said this is exactly what he meant, that it was horrible. We have been together for 4 years, and all I had to say was okay to our breakup. I just asked if he wanted to stay here while he figured out where to go. He said, typical of course, you're holding the apartment over me, and started ranting again, so I just left. I told my parents, and they're also confused. My dad suggested I reach out to our landlord and explain the situation to see what options we have. I can keep paying the rent, no problem myself. He covered utilities and some subscriptions. Just to reiterate, I never had a problem with this. I said that he was chasing his dream, and that was more important to me than a 50-50 financial split. I make good money and I'm happy at my job. I never saw as a slave in a way. I also had the mentality that my money was our money because we were building a life together. Of course, I had my own savings and fun money, but I honestly never cared. As long as he felt he was working towards something and wasn't taking advantage of me, I was fine with it, more than fine. Alex is still mad. He's going between texting me like a robot about the logistics of the split to being a seething a-hole complaining about everything. I'm not even hurt anymore. I just feel nauseated by him at this point. I don't know. Should I have reacted differently? Top comment. Dude basically hates himself for decisions that he took without ever consulting you. He chose his comforts, but now since others seem others seem to be in a better position, he's venting on you and making you the culprit, not the a-hole. But your man has a little brain and doesn't know what to do with it. Exactly. Like, no, he didn't even tell her that he had this great opportunity. He just hit it. And then now he's upset because he's seen his friend have this chance to do what he wanted to do, and his friend is making good money, and I guess he's not making good money. And like, at the end of the day, it's not like she's putting her accomplishments and her achievements, like, she's holding that over his head. She says that she's supportive. She doesn't have money. She doesn't have a problem with doing things 50-50. She doesn't have a problem with anything. I don't understand. Like, this is what happens when you're insecure. Insecurity is really, really one of the biggest diseases anybody can have. She said, I would have supported him if he wanted to move away. I don't know if we would have stayed together because LDRs are hard, but I would have been 100%, supportive. So a piece still seems like she would have supported him, Anyways, I suspect he was fired or had others reason to turn down the PhD, or maybe never even applied, but believes he would have gotten it if he did, but chose to blame you rather than acknowledge that. And as Emma said, he probably chose this one because she would be there to pay the bills. It's more stable. Yikes. Someone said, my grandpa always says, if a man ever tells you you're emasculating his mixed masculinity, it's not the type you want any part of anyway. Go find a man who's not insecure. Dude didn't use the exact phrasing, but this whole post reeks of insecurity. It really does. Am I the a-hole for punching my ex-husband's new girlfriend for hitting my daughter? I, 23 female, have a 6-year-old daughter. I had her at 17 years old with my ex-husband, Devon. Devon and I got married at 18 and got divorced at 20 years old due to his cheating. He doesn't pay a dime to financially support our daughter. I am our daughter's full-time caretaker. My ex-husband only sees our daughter once a month. I beg him to spend more time with her, but I shouldn't have to beg him to be a father. He recently got into a relationship with this new girlfriend, Haley. Ever since Haley entered my ex-husband's life, she bashed me. She blamed me for my daughter being autistic. She said my daughter is autistic because I coddle her. I do not coddle my child. I legitimately try my best with the situation I was dealt. My daughter was diagnosed with autism at 4 years of age. We have her in speech therapy and behavioral therapy. She has a therapist she sees twice a week. She also has developmental delays. I try to work with her every day on her speech, behavior, etc. Yesterday, my daughter went to go stay at the night at her dad's house. Her dad's girlfriend, Haley, was there. She lives there now. My daughter's father called me. He told me to come over and pick up our child because she was upset. I went to go pick her up and I saw she had red marks, welts, and bruises all over her legs. I was pissed and asked what happened. My daughter told me that she spilled water on the floor and on the couch. Haley got mad at her and hit her with a belt. Mind you, a 4-year-old autistic child. I rushed into the house and I don't know what came over me. I punched Haley in the face and beat the F out of her. I didn't even realize what I did until I saw her on the floor. Haley wanted to press charges on me, but my ex talked her out of it. I went to the police station with my daughter right after and filed a police report. I showed them the bruises and welts and marks. I had pressed charges for child abuse, and I reported my husband, I reported my ex to the CPS for child neglect and abuse. I'm still shaken up from the situation. I took photos of my daughter's legs and arms. I will never let my daughter go over to her dad's again. I beat myself over this. If I knew that Haley would hit my child, I wouldn't have let her go in there in the first place. Am I the a-hole? No, you're not. Why are you hitting a child that's not your child? Why are you hitting a 4-year-old child for spilling water? Why are you hitting a 4-year-old autistic child for spilling water on the floor? Is it ever that deep? Like, what the hell? Clearly, she has animosity towards this lady. That's why she hates the child for no reason. Top comment, hell no, you're not the a-hole. She got mad that someone hit her for doing something wrong after she hit someone for doing something wrong. She doesn't like your daughter because she thinks she's beneath her because she's disabled. You're a good mom and you make her look bad because of the maturity and dedication to your daughter that you have. My heart goes out to you and I really hope your daughter is okay. Yeah, and then OP replied, thank you. She's shaken up. I broke a finger on my hand from this incident. My daughter and I went to Dairy Queen today. She's a lot better than she was yesterday. Yeah, I'm glad her daughter is doing well. Am I the a-hole for leaving after my in-law asked me to move out because I didn't cook lunch on time? 2 years ago, my sister passed away, leaving behind 2 boys, David 12 and Peter 7. My brother-in-law was struggling to juggle everything and he was looking to hire a maid to help care for the kids. I couldn't stand the thought of someone else raising them and when they're my blood, so I offered to step in. For 2 years, I've been taking care of them as if they were my own. Every day, I'd wake up early, make the breakfast, clean the house, do the dishes, wash the clothes, feed and care for the 50 chickens on the property, all while managing my own studies. I did it all without a complaint. I wanted to because I loved them and wanted to keep my sister's memory alive through them. One Sunday, after 2 years of doing everything without a single mistake, I went out for a walk. I asked David, now 14, to prepare lunch, which was a simple meal. He said he could manage it, and I trusted him. It was the one day my brother-in-law was off from work, so I thought maybe he could help too. A few hours later, I got a call from my in-law, and to my shock, he told me to start looking for a new place because, in his words, I wasn't helping enough. All because I asked David to handle one meal, one time in 2 years. I was crushed. I thought I had done everything right, but apparently that one day was enough for him to decide I wasn't good enough. I didn't argue or fight back. I packed my things and left quietly. Now my in-laws is angry that I left without a word. Am I the a-hole for leaving after everything I did just because I didn't cook lunch one time? Someone said, I'm not sure I understand. Your brother-in-law asked you to leave and is now angry that you did what he asked? And then someone said, probably expected her to apologize and start taking on more chores. Yeah, yep, he's mad he lost his slave. And then so her brother-in-law, the in-law she's talking about is the brother-in-law, her dead sister's former husband told her to leave because she didn't make dinner or she didn't make lunch one time, and she told the son who's 14 years old. I feel like a 14-year-old son is more than capable to make a simple dish. I don't understand. Like, I know we live in America and kids are a bit slow here, but a 14-year-old is more than capable of making one dish one time. It's really not that deep. And if somebody was so kind to help me with my kids after I became a single parent because my partner died for 2 entire years, cooking, cleaning, mopping, doing the dishes, doing the laundry, cooking dinner, cooking breakfast, cooking lunch, one time they didn't feel like doing it, I would not tell them to leave or to move out. Like, what did he expect us to do? Oh, please, I will do everything as you want next time, master. Please don't kick me out. Like, this girl uprooted her entire life. She's a young girl. Like, instead of living her life the way she wanted to do her studies and help out her brother-in-law, who is a new single parent. Like, some people are just so ungrateful. It's so disgusting how ungrateful some people can be.